I am truly honored to become the first ever model to be featured on a postage stamp, and I can't think of a better place for my stamps to be introduced to the world than at the Australia 99 World Stamp Expo. To begin with, I must thank the beautiful nation of Antigua for choosing to honor me on their stamps. Antigua is one of the most exquisite places in the world to visit, and I am proud to have been there on several occasions for photo sessions in the past. I'm excited to learn that many of my fans will have the opportunity to add me to their stamp collection starting today.
Late Show with David Letterman. Tonight, Elle Macpherson.
Our first guest is an actress, a supermodel, and simply one of the world's most beautiful women. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the always lovely Elle Macpherson. Elle. And also, congratulations, because you're on the postage stamps of the island nation of Antigua, Barbuda. That's great.
That's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no.
There you go, look at that. Happening. Very nice. How did you get to do that, by the way?
It really came through Australia. The Australians were having the stamp expo, and I guess they just asked me if I'd be on a stamp, and I just sort of thought, oh, that'd be nice. I didn't actually think much about it in the beginning. Then I thought, well, it's quite an honor.
It is quite an honor. I went through the same thing a few years ago. Here's this is a Mexican peso. This is the 100 peso note, and they asked me if I would. So here's what we came up with. It looked pretty good. It kind of helped stabilize the economy.
The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
What else? Kind of a slow news day. Oh, I saw this today in the paper. Supermodel Elle Macpherson going to be featured on postage stamps issued by the islands of Antigua and Aruba. I guess she does a lot of photo shoots there. So they're putting her on the stamp, which is quite an honor. And they said this will be the first stamp you can lick with absolutely no intention of putting on an envelope. You know, just it's fun to lick the stamp.
And finally, here's something you can sink your teeth into: the likeness of supermodel Elle Macpherson. She's now got her own postage stamp. The 8-stamp set was unveiled in her native Australia. Then they'll be issued on the Caribbean Island of Antigua. That's where Macpherson's most memorable photos were shot.
She was known for her good looks, but now the face of supermodel Elle Macpherson will be seen on more than just the pages of a magazine. The island of Antigua has chosen to feature Macpherson on a series of 8 stamps. They're part of a celebrity program called Discover the Fun of Stamps. They will be unveiled tomorrow at the World Stamp Expo in Melbourne, Australia.
If you're a fan of supermodel Elle Macpherson, you might want to start a stamp collection. She's being featured on a series of stamps issued by the Caribbean nation of Antigua. They'll be unveiled at a stamp expo this weekend in her native Australia.
Elle Macpherson has gone from the runway ramp to a postage stamp. Some of her most famous photos are gracing a series of stamps for the island nation of Antigua.
How about that?
Very smart idea.
I modeled my teeth after her. You modeled your teeth after her?
Yes. You know, I can't wait to tell her.
You took a magazine
so
into the dentist and say, I want her teeth? Is that what you said?
Exactly.
Look.
She'll be proud. Wouldn't she, Jim Newman?
See? Yeah, in
if
fact,
I were to
every
tell
time
her
I
that?
look at you, I think of Elle Macpherson.
All right, Tony, ease up. Here's something that should get you excited. Late at night, how to lick Elle Macpherson. How to lick
You know what? See, I know what this story is
He'd
about.
rather say vernal equinox.
I'd rather say vernal equinox.
Sad for you. A sticky-to assignment for our world-famous supermodel, Elle Macpherson, has been immortalized on a series of stamps which will be unveiled this weekend in her native country of Australia. The 8 lick and stick postage stamps, notice how they didn't do the self-adhesive for her, are actually from the Caribbean island of Antigua.
Why didn't they do it?
Because it would take the fun out of it, Tony. Where some of Macpherson's most memorable photos were taken. Because this way you can say that you actually licked Elle and not lie about it. Thank you.
Actress Elle Macpherson gets a stamp of approval. Doesn't she have enough exposure?
No.
Details coming up. And cover girl Elle Macpherson is about to join the ranks of Postal immortality. A sheet of 8 stamps featuring the supermodel actress will be unveiled Sunday. I think I missed her acting. I guess she's in a few shows.
Yeah.
They're issued by the islands of Antigua and Barbuda, where many of her photo shoots take place.
Now the latest mail on Aussie supermodel Elle Macpherson.
A World Stamp Expo will always have some familiar faces, including those who just want a close look at a $100,000 stamp. But having launched her own collection of lingerie, fitness videos and fashion cafes, it was perhaps inevitable the body would put her face on stamps.
I am truly honoured to become the first ever model to be featured on a postage stamp.
Through a video link, Elle unveiled the stamps produced for the West Indies island of Antigua.
I particularly like the one with the cowboy hat because it was shot in Australia for one of my calendars a couple of years ago in the outback.
Elle also offered advice for overly friendly philatelists.
Don't lick the back of my head too often, I guess.
You don't have to be a supermodel to adorn a stamp. For just $10, you can be as famous in the stamp world as Elle Macpherson. Brett McLeod, 10 News.
Elle Macpherson, Elvis, Marilyn, even our own John Howard have all had their faces licked for a stamp of approval.
Yeah, Miss Elle Macpherson.
Supermodel Elle's the first Aussie entertainer to appear on a set of stamps, but please remember,
Don't lick the back of my head too often, I guess.
Thanks so much for joining us, and thank you all in Melbourne for attending the 99 World Stamp Expo. This is Ben Wolfson in London saying so long and discover the beauty of stamps.